startup, Nephrodite, Nikhil Shah, he is MPH CEO and co-founder, Implantable continuous hemodialysis device.
Great, thank you. I'm going to take the screen. Excellent. Thank you, Raj and Yuli, for hosting this virtual platform, and to the panelists. I want to thank you for listening about our device called the Holley device from Nephrodite. Our decision to innovate in the dialysis space was not difficult. Not only is it an area where two of the founders have considerable medical expertise, but it's one that's had a paucity of innovation since the inception of dialysis in 1943. Over 800,000 patients in the US alone, and up to about 3 million patients worldwide, suffer from end-stage renal disease. And the cost to the US healthcare system is enormous, $34 billion to Medicare, which is solely responsible for reimbursing providers with patients on dialysis. And this accounts for about 7% of the Medicare budget to treat roughly less than 1% of the population. Some of you may have experience or may know from experience with friends or family that having a loved one with end-stage renal disease is more than challenging. The only way to survive beyond 5 to 10 years is a kidney transplant. Patients on hemodialysis need surgery to create an arm graft or an arm fistula, to which they are dialyzed 3 to 4 hours per day, 3 times per week. And to be clear, 3 times per week is really not enough to clear all those toxins and the urea that's circulating in the bloodstream. It's merely adequate. Otherwise, patients can choose to dialyze using a surgically implanted catheter in their abdomen. And they do this daily 3 times per day, or they can do this continuously at night. But getting a transplanted kidney is ideal. And unfortunately, we have over 100,000 Americans on the waiting list, and many won't survive before a kidney becomes available. There are companies such as Outset Medical that are quote unquote moving dialysis from the ICU to the living room. These are home dialysis solutions. And while we feel that change is necessary in this space, it's really not addressing the real issues of quality of life with patients with arm grafts, abdominal catheters, and trying to actually do dialysis at home. The real issues affecting patients are these catheters and trying to dialyze for hours upon days, including access and availability to care. Gail Warden has talked about this and has said, you really haven't changed the stage of dialysis. You've just merely moved dialysis or the machine to the home, and home care providers as well as patients really may not be well served and may only add to complications and costs. Our patients with end-stage renal disease and on dialysis are suffering. Dialysis is laborious. It is invasive. It is draining and painful. It wreaks havoc on their personal lives and places demands on their loved ones for care and transportation. The mental health effects are numbing. Depression, fear, anxiety, suicidal ideation are paramount in this population, and sometimes the norm. Complication rates are high. With only being dialyzed 3 times per week, patients experience peaks and troughs that assault their cardiovascular system, often resulting in dialysis graft failures, infections, heart attacks, strokes, and death. In 2013, one of the co-founders, Dr. Nguyen, and myself were invited for a 3-day conference to visit the German Aerospace Agency and the Division of Mechatronics and Robotics to discuss the future of surgery. During the tour of the facility, we were shown a device which was a biventricular heart pump, which is shown sort of animated here in the slide. All the devices currently that support people with heart failure, like former Vice President Dick Cheney, are left ventricular assist devices, not biventricular devices. And this device, made by the German aerospace engineers and scientists, was novel because the Achilles heel of all implantable heart devices has been typically clotting and often hemolysis. This device, with its unique design, did not clot, and it was powered by a wireless battery charged through the skin. And it's here where Bob and I sort of had the idea and discussed the possibility of sort of miniaturizing this heart device that they had developed into a mechanical pump and adapt those key principles, design principles, to create an implantable dialysis device. With a 1.5 million euro grant from the Bavarian Ministry, we began a close partnership with our German partners and scientists to develop a prototype of a miniaturized mechanical dialysis pump. In 2015, we brought this project back to the US for further development in collaboration with one of our advisors, Professor Rohit Karnik at MIT. Our vision, plainly stated, is to improve the quality of life and the health outcomes for every patient with end-stage renal disease, and to stop offering treatment that is not innovated since 1943. To do this, we wanted to shift the paradigm by bringing a true renal replacement solution or a kidney replacement device that can keep patients healthy while they either A, wait for a kidney, or B, it could serve as a standalone solution for their disease. We have developed a surgically implanted device that connects to an artery or an arterial conduit that would allow for continuous filtration, essentially working as a kidney replacement mechanism. You can see this device, which we call the Holley, on the upper right of the slide. This is our main mechanical filtration pump, and it's the main component and actually the IP of our device. Here, and in seeing this prototype, it's composed of our specially designed housing. Remember, that doesn't clot, resistant to clotting and hemolysis. And within it contain our membranes that is really trying to clear especially toxins like urea. If we can see this video, hopefully we can, what here is our prototype on bench testing that has been tested now for flow, pressure, and function over prolonged periods of time. In triplicate, over 96 hours, we are able to clear those toxins such as urea in a way that at super physiologic levels. Our mechanical dialysis pump is surgically implanted again. It's surgically implanted into an arterial conduit, which we believe could be the iliac artery. And that would be in the pelvis and not necessarily in the, we would not enter the abdomen. A second part of our device is a fluid exchange. And so patients would theoretically wear a vest where a fluid reservoir would be located on the vest, and it would allow for exchange of dialysate from the fluid reservoir to the mechanical device surgically implanted to interact with blood flow. So there'd be a connection between the dialysate and the blood flow to allow for effective fluid exchange. The actual proprietary part of our device is the whole device, but it's basically contained within our mechanical dialysis device. The tubing, the connectors, the reservoir, those are all off-the-shelf materials, and we did this purposely in terms of regulatory matters and for our investors.
You have 1 minute.
Yep, thank you. There are two major companies here, and we believe that that are in the market, and this we believe is a compelling market opportunity. This is a market where we believe with just a minimal amount of penetration into the market, we would be able to address about $750 million in revenue with a 5% penetration. Currently, we're seeking seed funding. We have approximately $850,000 to seek in seed funding to get validation testing going, blood testing on the bench, as well as develop a full prototype and proceed with animal testing. We have intellectual property, 3 patent families with concurrent basis not only here in the US, but in Europe. We have some competitive devices around as well, the kidney project and a wearable artificial kidney, but we feel our device is superior in terms of the way we've constructed the device. A strong team is incredible that we've built and put together, and it exists of these scientists, engineers, as well as business advisors that we believe are going to help us move this project forward beyond seed funding and hopefully to commercialization. Thank you.